Welcome to the BigBusinessZoo.com speaker series on how to increase your sales, network, and site rank. This series features video segments that highlight powerful ways to leverage digital assets such as video, podcasts, blogging, mobile apps, and other digital tools. Today's special guest is video marketer Michael Krisa, and his topic today covers how you can succeed using strategies for advanced video marketing. Michael is an authority on video marketing, and when business owners need to get their videos viewed by more people, they go to him for advice on planning, strategies, and tactics on what to include in their video productions. If you want to know about what needs to happen with your videos, whether it be music, sound effects, graphic details, photos, or landscape, especially as it relates to getting more views and marketing effectively, listen in with Michael Krisa and discover how video can be used to increase your sales, network, and site rank. And now, here is your host, a profitability strategist, marketing maven, as well as our beloved zookeeper, Catherine B. Trainer.
All right, well, welcome Michael Krisa from EasyWebVideo.com. And Michael, we're going to get right into it and talk about using digital tools, and you're a specialist in video marketing, but you've been in the marketing community for a long time, and you started with real estate marketing. Is that?
I've been a real estate broker. I've been in real estate now for over 2 decades, so that makes me a dinosaur, basically.
And the transformation for marketing within that community and the power of it, it's been tremendous acceleration in the last 10 years. They started doing those where you can go through the home tour with still pictures, and then now it's through 360 video for property showings.
Yeah, virtual tours, I guess they came on in the day. I call them cheap porn music and photos, because that's basically what they were. And they haven't, in some cases they haven't changed that much, because you'll find many realtors will take pictures and they still have snow on them even though it's mid-July. So even though the technology's there, in some cases they're slow adopters to actually get on there. You'll find that the top producers will gravitate whenever there's something new. They're the first ones there, the early adopters. And then you wonder why top producers are top producers and making the money, why the other ones aren't doing anything. I wonder if there's something to do with adopting the technology and actually implementing it.
Well, and the whole purpose of technology isn't to serve technology. It's to serve our customers. And top producers, in whatever field they're in, that's what they think about. What's going to be the way to connect and make it easier for my customer to get the results that they want? And especially if you're in sales or marketing, keeping that as the foundation for whatever you're adopting, I think that's important.
Yeah, I think they'll quickly evaluate the tool. They'll see if it's going to make them money. It's all about serving the customer, but too, there's got to be a return on it, because in any sales-related business, there are all kinds of shiny pennies out there. So it's a matter of finding the one that actually works for you and in your business. Because as we know, there's technology that will implement that will actually make our businesses worse. There's a stiff learning curve. It's just too difficult to use, and at the end of it, it's money that's been lost. So I think the savvy business people evaluate something quickly and look at groups, forums and Facebook groups, and they ask questions. That's what the wonderful things about Facebook and how you and I connected is you have all these different tribes, if you will, as Seth Godin would say. Then you go to the tribe, so why drink from the poison well when you can drink from the one that has the cool water?
And you're able to work with people that have tried it and have thought things through, and made some mistakes, and you can adapt then. And what you said was really important to what's going to be profitable, and that's one of the things.
Hold on, let me just stop you there. I said something important. I want to write that down because I can use it again later. Okay.
You have to look at what's going to be profitable for your business because you can stick a lot of time and money into things that are not going to create a result. And even with video, people get results, and they don't necessarily have to have a high quality video. But in other times, it's
video
really
is one of those
important
Pandora's boxes, because I've seen when I first started doing this about 6 years ago with the realtors, I remember the first convention I was at National Association of Realtors convention, and that's when green screen companies were coming out there, and they were charging $1,000 a production minute. And you had realtors that were paying them the money at the trade show to stand in front of a green screen and read a script. And nothing could be more unnatural than being unprepared, standing out front of this screen. It'd be like going to a doctor's office when he asks you to bend over and cough. I mean, you just don't want to be having a picture taken at that time. That's what was going on. And in some cases, I don't think it's evolved much further than that, because there are still these people that want to have salespeople believe that video is a hard thing to do. And that's how they make their money, by coming in and doing professional production. But with the advent of things like, your smartphone, the iPad, literally anybody now can do video.
They can, and then the delivery vehicles, and this is one of the exciting things that I think it's on video, it's on the iPad, it's on the computer. With your platform, Easy Web Video, you can email the videos, which that's not something where the video will play right inside the email.
Yeah, no, let's I have to correct that, because what we're sending is an HTML page. So
okay.
I don't think the technology is quite there yet that you can stick a video in the email and send it, because video by its nature is still a large file. But what it will do is create that image that looks like a video, somebody clicks, right, and that redirects to a web page where the video is streaming from.
But that's virtually seamless.
Yeah, very much so.
And that's one of the things to watch for when you're going to be hosting videos, is how long does it take for them to load?
Yeah, and it's an important tip when you're using video in email. Open rates are much higher when you have an image in the actual email that you're sending, and especially if it's an image of a person, like a human face, because that's what we identify to, versus just a static text or a plain image. When you have a face, it engages people more, and the likelihood of them playing that video, it's an astronomical number. It's like 60 or 70% increase in open rates.
Or if you're posting a video, let's say on YouTube or another platform where people are choosing, having that initial screenshot where it has a face.
Mm-hmm.
That would be important too, even if you're doing something that's, because you can do videos and have great marketing results even if you don't want to be on camera. You can do voiceovers and things like that, but having that initial, cover photos, let's say, with a face on will definitely increase the response.
I think it's the way we're hotwired. It's basically our tribal mentality when you think about it. As hunter-gatherers, what we did to make sure we didn't get beaten up or eaten by the other tribe is we looked them in the eye to figure out, okay, are you friend or foe? And I think that's entrenched in our DNA, that we look at images before we do something. So when we see a happy face, we're drawn to it. If we see someone who's repulsive and mean and nasty, it just triggers that flight or fight response in us. So we act accordingly without even thinking about it.
So video is a great way to increase the likelihood that people are going to connect and bond and like you, trust you.
Yeah, I call it there's two things at play here. One's called the celebrity authority effect, and that comes from Dr. Robert Cialdini in his book on influence, because we've been programmed to think that when we see somebody on TV, and, the news is delivered that way, automatically that must be the authority. So when you tie that aspect in of video as a delivery mechanism, in essence, video is stories. And when you think about how we've been raised, we're raised on stories. Even when we were living in caves, the guy who told the best stories was the one that people gravitated to. We haven't evolved that much differently over 2,000 years. The difference between the cave stories, which was moving pictures and sound because the fire was flickering in the background, video today is basically the same thing. It's moving pictures and sound.
So, Michael, what excites you the most? If you're looking at video marketing, what excites you the most as far as what's available right now?
I'm glad you said in video marketing, because I thought this conversation was going to go on a completely different tack there for a second. I think for me, for the fact that I've worked with small businesses and entrepreneurs, but I started with working with realtors, is I call it the aha moment when they think something is so hard and so difficult that it'll never be something that they can do. And when I can get on stage and I'll pull somebody out of the audience and we make a video together using my iPhone or using my iPad, and that magic moment when they hit the button and they recorded it, and we go through some basic editing. They hit the button again, and it's published. And when you see the lights in their eyes come on, that big aha that they can do it, that gets me excited.
And that, it's right there. It's that big now.
It happens right there in the moment.
Yeah.
It's just right there.
You don't
and when
have
they
to have
get it, when they know they can do that basic thing, it's a matter of building blocks. They've now done a small achievement, and now they move on to the next one. Minor successes.
Perfect. So what's the top tool, strategy, or tactic you recommend to accelerate results and increase profits? And if I can kind of pull that back to the video marketing, if you could contrast, because there's two main ways that people record, edit, and distribute the videos. There's the free platforms like YouTube and Vimeo, which is sort of, it can be free or not free. And then there's a protected platform like Easy Web Video or Wisty or some of these other ones. Which one do you use when?
There was a multitude of questions that you asked there under one umbrella. So let me try to peel the banana here. In terms of platforms that you would use, if I was just somebody who's filming kittens, or something, and security of the content didn't matter to me, and having my competitors watch it and detractions and that kind of thing, then YouTube would be the way to go, a free platform. And I say that there's a cost associated with free. It would be like you and I conducting business at Starbucks, and I think I shared this with you the other day. We could sit and have a coffee, and I could have my laptop, and we can do whatever it is that we're doing. And being the gentleman that I am, I would walk you to your car. And if I left my car keys, my wallet, and my laptop, I would be praying that when I returned to Starbucks, it would still be there on the table. And if it's not there, it's my own stupidity, because that platform, literally the table, was provided to me for free, even though I had a coffee. And free platforms do the same thing. When I host my videos there and I'm relying on that service, there is no guarantee that that service will be there, because there's no exchange. It's free. So when they shut you down for terms of violations that you didn't know, or simple things, you're dealing with some automaton now to get your system turned back on again. So I would argue that any business that's serious about having video as a marketing platform or educational platform, you need to pay. Ultimately, you need to pay. If you go to the library, you can't take books off the shelf unless you've got a library card. And they're giving you the books that you can now borrow and read, but you still need that library card. I think a video delivery platform at its very basis is the same thing.
Well, and there's the motivation behind the free platforms is to keep people engaged and have them be able to be scattered all over. And so that's
the
where
nature
their
of a free
options are.
platform is traffic. So whoever has that platform obviously wants eyeballs. Mm-hmm. And when they have eyeballs, now they can sell advertising. So that's the nature of it. So when we look at YouTube, for example, once upon a time, a video was ranked based on clicks, the amount of people that would come and actually, click or comment. Well, savvy marketers figured out a way of driving fake clicks to a video or fake comments. So now, basically what happened is Google's re-engineered the game and said, no, it's not about that anymore. It's the amount of time that video was actually watched. So you can have comments that will actually hurt you if you have a disproportionate amount of comments relative to if that video's been played.
Mm. And then another thing, because I did want to talk about using a paid platform, there's a lot of features that are added in there as far as the ability to have direct links to your website, have forums, have the ability to control what happens at the end of the video, where it's not showing your competitors. This is one of the big problems people have, is they'll put up a tutorial or they'll put up a business promotional thing on, and they'll stick it on YouTube, and they have a HVAC company or something like that, and if other people are savvy and tag their videos, they could even be a local competitor coming up right alongside or in that screen where all the things to look at. You can engineer that a little bit if you're an expert and put quite a bit of work into the tagging and things like that with YouTube, but it's so much easier to just, if you have a serious business, you're looking to create profits, is to pay a modest amount and have it where you have the control and the
Yeah,
deliverability.
there's a good point to that, because you're driving, in essence, you've worked so hard to generate traffic to your video for somebody to watch it. And when you're on a platform like YouTube, there's a couple things at play. And one, most people don't realize, there's an element called social proof, that we like to follow the herd. And when you look at the bottom right-hand corner of your video on YouTube, there's a number, and that number is the number of people that have clicked to play your video. Well, if you're the preeminent authority on, I don't know, nuclear physics, let's say, and you've got a video there and it's only got 2 people have watched it, well, that's negative social proof. That actually speaks to the fact that maybe you're not the expert. And it's not discounting the fact that you are, but for the person that arrives there at that scene, it's like inviting somebody to a party and there's nobody there. So that's one thing. And then obviously on the right-hand side, all those other videos that you mentioned, they could be my competitors, but what's worse is, what if it's inappropriate content? What if it's adult content? And even worse, what if it's just distracting content? So a confused mind will always say no. So if I see, the happy kittens jumping and I click that video and suddenly I'm watching that and something else comes in, within 3 clicks, I forgot why I'm there in the first place. So part of the whole idea of hosting your own video is you control the experience, you control the platform.
And there's different, modes that we're in when we're creating video content. There's casual videos where it's just, hi, how are you, or the kittens, or the funny thing, or just a quick update or something, and you may just want to just slap it up on YouTube. That's fine. But if you're really covering a concept, or you're developing protective material for a course, or like in the case of a realtor, if you're showing a home, you don't want other realtors to be using your hard work, putting the production value into doing it, and marketing that home on your behalf, with them getting the commission. You want to have a closed circle of control, because you're investing it. Nothing's free, because we have to value our time and our effort as something too. And to really use the free platforms and work them around, it can get into quite a bit of work.
I guess it's kind of akin to, do you want to ride the bus or do you want to drive a Porsche? When you ride the bus, you're going to get what you get on public transport. When you have the luxury of your own car, they're 2 different things altogether. Both will take you somewhere. It's how you get there.
The other thing that I think is important to remember for internet marketing and your website is one of the things for Google ranking is the page load speed and how long people stay on the page. And that was one of the things that impressed me when I looked at your platform, was easywebvideo.com. The videos load really, really fast. And that's going to increase the chances that people stay on your page and actually view the content and see you as an expert. So there's just a lot of benefits for a modest price.
I may run out and get an account myself.
I think I did. I did. Because I've been looking for, and this series it's not a pitch fest at all. You're delivering a lot of content that's not just talking about your platform. I'm kind of pushing it in. I'm plugging it because for the price that it's at right now, which I'm not going to give on the air because that may change through the life of this video, for the price that it's at, it's just comparable to things that people are paying $100 and up per month to have.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times the
features.
amount. Yeah.
Exactly.
What I would throw out there, I guess even before I go down the video platform route, I would challenge anybody that's watching right now that is thinking about doing video, sitting on the fence, that you can be starting off with something as simple as your webcam. I mean, that's what I'm using right now. I've got a webcam here on my screen, and I would challenge you. And this is what I do with realtors, and when I'm on stage with entrepreneurs and different people, I'll walk out and I'll say, here's my thing. If you're in a service industry, if you're working with people, if you were to take the video, and this is just for your own purposes, you don't have to put it on the web. You'll play it on your computer. Video what you do in terms of a presentation. Is it a buyer's presentation? Are you consulting with somebody? But go through that role play where you actually record what you do, because I will guarantee you will be shocked and amazed at the things that come out of your mouth without even realizing it. So my challenge would be to do that one thing first. Forget about posting video to the web. Do that one thing. And I guarantee you, when you see that, that will give you the opportunity to actually deconstruct what you say and how. It will make you a better communicator.
Another thing that we like to showcase for video marketing is the repetitive things in your business, like the frequently asked questions. If you can make those into videos and have them on your website and have them available for people, it saves so much time. Because when people call or they ask or they ask you a question, you can say, go to the frequently asked questions page, we have it right there, and everything's laid out. And then also, people have questions, they don't necessarily want to engage with you when they're thinking about doing business. They can sit there, and if you look at what they do behavior-wise, they will sit there and look at all those frequently asked questions if they're compelling questions.
And they'll look at endorsements and testimonials. They'll look at case studies. Again, going back to what we talked about with Cialdini, we follow the herd. And testimonials are a huge part. That third-party endorsement is huge. And when you have that on video, oh my gosh.
Well, you're taking accountability because you're having it on video. It's your face, it's your personality, it's your brand. And that's different than just having some guy go door to door and yap and just saying whatever comes into his head. You're putting it on public record. This is what we do, this is who we are, this is when we'll do it, how we'll do it, and what you can expect, and that gives people a safer feeling to do business with you.
Since you said knocking on doors, when you think about it, a video is literally a 24/7 salesperson, because we just assume that people are working 9 to 5, but it's across different time zones. We're living in that global economy now, where I'm consulting with people in the UK, in Australia. They're from all over the world, and they're watching my videos at a time that's convenient for them. And part of the whole thing about video, the magic of it, is creating that know, like, and trust element. So when they make that decision that they want to work with me, they're engaged. They reach out to me, and I don't have to convince them of all the reasons why they should work with me. Now it's about how I can serve them. And that's such a wonderful place to be.
And that's a perfect segue to question number 3, Michael. What is your favorite way to make the world a better place?
Wow. I think just sharing. I've got this expression, actually, it's on my wall here. It says, a candle loses nothing by sharing its flame. And I think there are two types of people. There are those that find something, they hoard it. You know, it's like a squirrel gathering its nuts and ultimately forgets where they put them. I've always been one that leads with the giving hand, and I think that's how things get done. And video is a perfect example. I remember when video was just first starting to come onto the web, and there was a group of kids that shot a dance sequence that they were doing, and they put it on the web, and then it went viral, and everybody that watched this video was taking that dance movement, and then they were adding music to it, and then they would take that dance and they would interpret it their way. So what may have started off as a 3-step type dance, by the time it came all the way back around again, was this orchestrated masterpiece. And it's that collaborative nature of when people share ideas, that's when great things happen.
Excellent. Okay, now do you remember Johnny Carson?
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, we're putting on the prognosticator cap.
Okay.
And so what do you think is the top trend, tool, or strategy to watch in the next year in video marketing?
I think video marketing, the convergence of the mobile devices, streaming video from mobile devices, I think that's going to be huge. Google Hangouts, if it ever gets its act together, will be something interesting as well. But I think the fact that we're right at this tipping point now where video has become easier to do. We have, generally speaking, high-speed access right across the continent, which means that we can deliver it now, and then the editing software that you need. So I think this whole aspect of you will see better quality video, and I'm not talking about the clarity of it, I'm talking about the message. Because now that it's almost expected that you have to do a video, it can't be shaky, it can't be crappy, because your competitors are now upping it a notch. So to compete now in this global economy, it's not a question if you'll be doing video. You will be. The question is, will your videos be any good?
As a little bit of a side thing, because this is one of the things that people ask me about, what about these short format videos? Because when like Vine and the short Instagrams.
Mhm.
They're 6 seconds, 8 seconds. When that first came out, I've got to tell you, it just made me nuts. I thought, how in the world could I communicate anything worthwhile in that a short of a segment? But people have gotten very creative with what they do there. Do you have any thoughts on the short attention span issue with people, and with these short videos? Any ideas of best ways to use them?
I've got a friend of mine he's very successful, multimillionaire. He's run many companies, and when I first started doing video a few years back, he said, "Oh, this is just a fad. You know, I don't watch videos. I can't be bothered." And I said, "Well, Glenn, you sail, don't you?" And he owns a sailboat. And he says, "Yeah, I sail." And I said, "Well, you were thinking about buying a new sailboat." And he was looking at a Genoa, and it was going to be 39 feet or 40 feet or something like that. And I said, "Well, if you stumbled across a video that spoke about that boat and everything you needed to know about it, you know, how it drafted, and I'm not a sailor. I'm more like Gilligan than anything. But I said, if it covered all those things, would you watch that video?" And he says, "Well, absolutely." I go, "That's the point. If the content's engaging enough, if it's speaking to me and it's solving some kind of problem, or it's entertaining, but more importantly, if it's engaging me and pulling me in, then I'll watch it." So to your point, if it's a 10-second video, or if it's an hour long, because we know YouTube's trying to get into streaming full movies now, they wouldn't be doing it unless there was an audience that's willing to pay or participate. So, to your point about the short, impactful messages, it's one method of delivery, just like the pager used to be, just like Twitter is, short characters. Where it's going to go, no idea, but my guarantee is I think video is here to absolutely stay. And as I mentioned, the quality of the content you're seeing online is going to get infinitely better than what we're seeing right now.
Right, and not being impatient, and going back to the profitability factor, you've got to trust that people that are serious about doing business with you are going to be like the person you were just mentioning. They'll watch an hour-long video about a boat that they're interested in buying, because that's an important decision that they're going to make. When people are ready to make a decision, they will take the time to absorb information. And so if you tailor all your marketing around just the overall mass behavior trend of just bang, 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 blink, 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 nothing sticking, you're going to be too brief and not deliver the amount of content that somebody needs to make a decision.
I think the simple tip would be that I share with people is when you're putting that video together, you almost have to think backwards. You have to deconstruct the video or reverse engineer it. Who's that audience that you're trying to speak to? And by audience, you're actually speaking to one person. Ideally, if you can speak to one person, as opposed to thinking that I'm sitting on a podium somewhere, you'll resonate because it becomes more of a personal dialogue. So who is that person? What is it that they want? What is it that they need? And what's the outcome of your video? What's that call to action at the end that you want them to partake in? Is it downloading something, calling you? So once you've got that part of the puzzle, then you can start putting together the message. But right at the very beginning of that message, when you've determined what it is you tell people right at the beginning of the video, hey, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 crucial tips about video marketing. And when they hear that, then they make the conscious decision of, well, I don't care about video marketing. They're going to go. Or, yeah, I absolutely want to know about video marketing. They're going to stay. Each decision is okay. If they leave, great, because I've lost them quicker. I'm still going to lose the same amount of people. But if they made the decision to stay, what I've done is I've shown them courtesy by telling them in advance what the topic is, and it's addressing what they want. So now there's a higher likelihood that they will play that video. More importantly, they'll play it to the very end.
Well, excellent. Thank you, Michael Krisa. And easywebvideo.com is your website, but what's the best way that you prefer people get in contact with you? Because you do consulting also.
Yeah, they can email me, michael@easywebvideo.com, and I check all my emails. I don't have assistants that do it. It comes right to me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We are going to adjourn, and then we're going to continue on audio in our little Shoot the Bull, where Michael can rant, or he can expound, or he can say whatever.
Expound.
And he doesn't have to deal with my confusing too long questions, which usually I'm right to the point, and I don't know. But today, not so much. But thank you again, Michael, and we're going to break and take care of that. And bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you for visiting the Big Business Zoo and our speaker series, Increase Your Sales, Network, and Site Rank. In today's feature on advanced video marketing with today's special guest, Michael Krisa. If you enjoyed what we had to share today, check out the show notes on this page where we have links, references, and a free gift provided by our speaker. A transcript as well as a podcast version of today's episode are also available on the show notes page. Shoot the Bull podcast episodes, due to their candid nature, are available to subscribers only at bigbusinesszoo.com. Subscribing to the podcasts, videos, and articles in this series is a service designed to benefit you in your business, your media efforts, and in designing a lifestyle of joy and excellence. You can also find more videos, articles, resources, and podcasts for this series on bigbusinesszoo.com, dnettv.com, Podcast Alley, and iTunes. You can connect with our beloved zookeeper and profitability strategist and marketing maven, Catherine B. Trainer, on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and bigbusinesszoo.com. We make our videos and podcasts as shareable as possible, but please use digital rights respect for the content created here, or you could be banished from the zoo to the circus with the other clowns. This has been a production of Big Business Zoo Media, part of Big Business Zoo LLC, all rights reserved.